Video today is going to be different than type of video I usually do, but it is definitely VR related. If you want to, this is going to be how to bake from Unity, or for Unity from Blender. And the reason I'm releasing this video is because I watched some tutorials and I had some problems with some things. They weren't working as they should have worked. So it took me like days and days to figure this out. So I'm making this video for anybody else who's running into this issue, and also I'm making it for me in case I forget. So this video is my glorified note, and I did take notes while learning all this. Okay, so here I have a nice Commodore 64 model that I got, freely available. Very, very nice model. We'll check it out. Watch this. This thing renders beautifully. I mean, this thing just looks so nice. I've got the samples set pretty low. That's ridiculous. I'm just going to change this. I'm just going to do a test for this video, so I'm setting my render sample even lower. But this is a beautiful model. It definitely it had some issues with normals that I had to fix, and in this save file the normals are not fixed. But anyways, just for the demonstration of this, it'll suffice. So let's say you want to use this in Unity and you export it as an FBX, right? Okay, so actually let's go here, select all, and I'm going to deselect the camera and the camera and light. Okay, and you say, all right, file, export, FBX, and let's see. You know, this is supposed to embed textures. It doesn't always work. I don't know. And export. Okay, we're exporting this file. Okay, I exported the file and I want to import it into Unity, drag it and drop it into my file, my project window. And here it is. And of course it doesn't look, see, the normals aren't fixed in this one. It doesn't look like it does in here. And the reason is because the project, or the way this model is set up, it's using textures and rendering methods in nodes. Now you can apply textures with nodes, but there's some other methods that it's doing in nodes that it doesn't export to. So it is using textures, but it's mapping them a certain way using nodes. And I'm not super familiar with all the different things you can do with nodes. But so when you export, this does not turn out into a texture file. So what you have to do is you have to bake it. You have to basically make it render out to an image file that you can then put onto your object, and you do that in Blender. I'll show you how to do that. Now, just for a quick test, I'm going to show you how to do multiple objects and single objects. So let's say we just want to do this return. Okay, one of the things you have to do is you have to UV unwrap. So I am going to be using the UV editor. That's what we're on in this window. This window here is the shader editor. So you want to create an image file. Go up here, add. This is what it's going to save the image to. This is how you save it. Add texture, image texture, and we're just going to say, I'm going to name this. No, we're going to do new. And I'm going to change it to 512 just for this example. Baked return. Some people say you don't need alpha. I don't know. I'll just take it off. I'm just showing you guys what I know right now. So you don't need to connect it to anything. And then over here, you just select that. You can do this a few different ways. You can create the new texture here and then add an image node here and then select it. It doesn't really matter. So then you hit tab and then you select all, well actually you just press A after you hit tab. So it selects all, and you go here and you press A, select all. And then the way you have to, whatever unwrap method you use, that's how it's going to be mapped. So if you do it like this, it maps it that way. right click, and see we are in edit mode. So you right click, or you can do Smart UV Project, like that, see it maps it another way. Also you can right click, what did I do, Smart UV Project. I like to, when I do multiple, I like to take off correct aspect ratio. But first of all, I'm just going to show you a single object, then we will do multiple objects. Why is that looking like this? Oh, weird. So anyhow, but if you notice how when I did UV unwrap, it messed up the return. Why did it do that? Why did it do that? And this is one of the issues I was having. Well, because right here, the way this node is set up is that it's mapping the current texture using the UV coordinates, and when I remapped it, it changed those coordinates. So Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Come on, and keep Control Zing until we get back to the original. Okay, so, but you have to map, you have to have UV coordinates for this. So you go over here, Object Data Properties, and you have to click on UV Maps, and you can add another UV map. Bam! And the selected UV map is the one it's going to map to. So now you can right click and say Unwrap. Okay. Or actually I like to do, to make the, you don't want unused space in your texture, so you can do Smart Object. Okay, now it's going to use all of this 512. And now remember we created this in here, and so we just go to the render. Remember you have to have it set up as cycles. Ooh yeah, I'm just change it to my GPU, use my GPU. And I have a low render amount here for this example. And in this one I just want the color. So we're just going to go to diffuse, and I'm going to unselect indirect and direct. And then I'm just going to click bake. And it's baking down here. Alright. Now, return. Now check this out. Now I can delete this texture. Whoops, I got to get out editor mode. Delete this texture. Oh, it's gone, it's gone. And now I can create a new texture. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to change it to diffused and add the image back that I just baked to. Baked return. I'm going to connect it. And oh, it's messed up. It's messed up. Go over here and just click on this button here, active render. Bam! So we're good. That is now an image file. Now if I export this, what's this? Export FBX. Oh, and you want to save your image file. And bring those both into Unity. Oh, whoops. Let me delete that. Yeah, here. I just pressed A to select everything, and then I did Control to deselect these. I held down Control and did that. Okay, so now I'm going to export again, and I'm just going to say selected, and okay, so that looks right. Now I'll bring it into here. Okay, so now we will apply it to that part of the object. Don't worry, I'll show you how you can bake all of this all at once and just have one image you can apply. But I just wanted to show this part first. I don't know if I have to do this, but I'm going to do it. Okay, go up to materials and then use external materials. And now, if I bring this in here, I click on this, it will bring this up, and I can just, boom. Oh, here's the problem. That's right. See, now it's mapped wrong, right? It's like, why is that mapped wrong? Forgot. It exports the the top UV map. So you got to delete. Here, I'll just delete the top UV map, which is not the one we want. Now I'm going to save this again, or export it again. Oops. So that it has the correct UV map. I'm just going to keep my mistakes in here in case you guys run into them as well, and I'll show you what mistakes I was making before that was just driving me insane. All right. Gonna go to, I'm just gonna do use external, or you could do use internal and then extract it. That sometimes you don't always have to do that, but whatever. I'm still learning. Okay, so model. Oh, I think it should work. Yeah, there we go. Now it's correct. Now that is correctly mapped. But what? I don't want to do all of these at once, like all of these individual. That's going to take forever, and you don't have to. So, but there is something you're going to have to do individually in Blender, so that you can then just do them all at once here, and I'll show you how to do that. All right, now how do you bake multiple objects at the same time? So we want to make it so we don't have to individually apply a texture to all of these. We want to do it all at once. So, but first I want to show you one of the issues I was having, and there was a detail I forgot to mention. So let's just do a test. Now I'm going to hold down Shift and click on these, and that selects them. All right, and now you can right click and say join, or you can do Control J, and it joins them all together. Okay. Now we want to make, actually let me undo joining them. Let's do all of them. Let's do like the number. Let's just do the top row. Okay, we'll do the top row. All right, now we will do join, and I will do make a new image. Here we go. Image new, and we'll just call it baked top row. All right, and we're just gonna do 512. Normally, when I select a lot more, I do a higher resolution, and it has to be the same width and height. It has to be a square. All right, so that's baked top row, and now we're on here. So I have them selected as a single object, as it were. If we go over here, we see that these are all the materials that are being used. Okay, so now I have to go in here. Again, this is the shader editor. Add texture, image texture, and we're going to select the one we just baked top row. All right. Now, what I forgot to tell you earlier is that it has to be selected, right? It has to be selected. At least that's what they say. So I'm going to do Control C, and then I'm going to paste this to every other one. That's the thing that's kind of a pain, but you have to do it. So paste it there. At least that's the way I do it. Paste it there. Paste it there. And you have to move your cursor into this area, otherwise it won't paste in that area. It won't. It's like different. So, all right, let's do for all of these. All right, now let's go ahead and bake to that texture. Getting an error, circular dependency. What? Why is it saying circular dependency? And this is the error that took me forever to figure out. When you look it up, it's saying, oh, well, that's because it's baking to one of the textures it's trying to read from. Well, why is that? How is that even the case? Because I have this selected, and other videos I saw say make sure you know it shows up selected. So while it is showing up as it's selected, it's actually not selected, because if you go down here, a different texture is showing up. So I don't know if this is a bug or what, but I thought this was selected because it has the white outline like it's selected, but it really was not selected. So I'll show you what happens when it finishes baking, and this is an issue I was having. Oh man, it was driving me crazy. So the two issues was the UV mapping issue. I had to learn how to make a new UV map while preserving the original, which I showed you how to do over here by creating a new one. And oh yeah, that's right. We still have to do that for these. I forgot to do that. I just wanted to do this part to show you the problem I was having. So, okay, so it finished baking, but it doesn't look right. I did forget to unwrap it. Let me revert this and we'll try this again. Okay, let's do, I'm going to do this again. Select them all. What I forgot to do is UV unwrap them. So right click and join here. All right, now we have to do the UV unmapping. Yeah, UV unmapping. So go here, boom. This time we're not going to forget that. And we're going to do new image and baked top row. I'm going to do 512 just for this one. I'll keep alpha this time. All right, now you have to go into edit mode. And what edit mode does is it only edits the object you have selected. It won't edit every mesh in the screen. So you can hit tab, you can go down here and go to edit mode, or you can just hit tab and bam, you're in edit mode. Now you can press A, just press A, not Control A, not Alt A, just A. Bam, it selects all of the faces. And then go here into this screen, press A, it selects them all. And now we're going to do the unwrapping. And we're going to unwrap it correctly because we're unwrapping it to a different one. So we're going to go here, we're going to do Smart UV Project. I'm going to take off correct aspect ratio because I want it. Okay, I'll show you what happens. With correct aspect ratio, see, it doesn't use the whole thing for texturing. So I'm going to use it, I'm going to redo it. Take off correct aspect ratio and the island margin. What that island margin is keeps like some separation in the image between the different areas. So I'm going to do 0.03. I just saw somebody on YouTube suggest it, so that's what I'm going to do. All right. So this is correctly unwrapped. Now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to get out of object mode or edit mode. Let's see. Go here, select that, and I'm going to add texture, image texture, and I'm going to select the one we made, baked top row. Okay, and now Control C, copy, and go over here to the materials, and then just paste. Move over and paste, paste, paste. Keep doing this to all of them, and eventually you have to do that to every single object. There's not really any way around it that I'm aware of. But this way you're going to end up with a single texture that you can just apply directly. Alright, so now we are going to change render to 12, just make it quick. Go down to this bake, whoops, bake, change it from combine to diffuse just because I want just the color. And let's click on bake. See, circular dependency for image. Oh, what? Why does it say that? And I'll show you. It's because even though it's highlighted that it's selected, it's really not selected. A different image is selected. And I'll show you how to properly select it. I'm going to pause this while it bakes. Alright, so it finished baking, and now look, they all turned black because they have that issue where it was baking to a texture. But the confusing part was I thought it was selected because in other YouTube videos I saw, people just pasted it and then it was fine. But down here in the properties, if you go to item for the node, it has to show up there. So once you paste it, you actually have to click on it again. So you go to here and you have to go to every single one. Not only do you have to paste it, but you have to click on it. Every single one. It's tedious. So, and I got to change my rendering back to GPU because that took way too long. I can revert, and we'll do it again the right way. All right, let's do the top row. holding down Shift as I click on these things. And this, you can select the entire model if you want to do this, but you know, the more you select, the longer it'll take to bake. So right click join, and I'm going to create a new image to bake to, and we're going to name it baked top row. I'm just going to do 512 for this example. Maybe you need alpha, maybe you don't. I'm going to take it off. And now we're going to create a new UV layer map. Bam. And now we can hit tab. We have to be in this window, hit tab, and then press A to select all, and then come back down here and press A to select all. I'm not sure if you need to do that, but I do it. And then I'm going to go up here and do Smart UV Project. You can map it here too, but it will not be the same option. So I'm going to do Smart UV Project, and I'm going to change the island margin to 0.03, and watch again. I'm going to end up taking off correct aspect ratio, but I'm going to show you why. See, half of the texture is just blank. So I'm going to do it again. Smart UV Project, take this off. Bam. Okay, so it's properly mapped. And now I'm going to go in here and add texture, image texture, baked top row. Make sure it is selected. See, it shows that it's selected. Control C for copy, paste, and then click. I wonder if can I change the mode? Yeah, see, I pasted, but it's not selected. Now it's selected. Paste, then click on it, so it shows it's active. So weird. Other videos I watched, they did not have to do this. So this, I was just banging my head against the wall. Took me freaking forever. Yeah, it took me forever. I was just gonna cry. So you have to go down and do this to every single one. But you only have to do this once. And I already did this. I actually already did all of the keys. I learned this last night, and I was like, I need to make a video on this so other people can know and I can remember. Alright, so now it should work. Let's go here. Change the render to 12 just for this example. Really low. Go down to bake. I want to do just the color. And now I'm going to click on bake, and it should be correct. Yeah, it should be correct. Alright. Gotta love GPU compute, way faster. Alright. Did this? This one is not showing up. Oh, it did show up. Okay. So now, let's see if we go here. They still look correct. So now watch this. I'm going to delete all these textures. They're all deleted. Oh no. Just going to select them. And we're going to do new material. And it's going to be diffuse. I'm zooming in and out with the scroll wheel on the mouse. Add texture, image texture. I'm just going to select the one. Oh, bake no. Bake top row. I'm going to connect it, and I think it's going to work. I think. Oh, that's right. You have to go back here to the UV map and select this UV map. And now, bam! See, it works. That's how you do it, and then you just apply it in Unity the way we applied the return map. So now this is, oh yeah, do this too. Save as big top row, and you can say like big top row. Just save it as big top row, and like let's say, so that's the diffuse. You can still bake over this. You don't have to do this for a new image. You can just go into your folder. You just can go into your folder here and change this to like, you can copy and paste it and change it to like diffuse, because let's say, okay, so that is what you would use in Unity for the diffuse, for that diffuse texture. and then you can go ahead and go back into baking and say you wanted to do, you know, like the normals or something like that, and you can just rebake over that same file name in Blender, save it, and then copy and paste and save it to a different name outside of Blender to use in Unity. All right, so that's it. I wanted to keep all my mistakes in here that I made even in this video because they were ones that I commonly made when trying to do this. So maybe if you run into those, you can see what happened. All right, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later.